Station in LaPorte County is 96.7 The Eagle. Welcome to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle, LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off is a public interest forum that encourages your voice to be heard on the topics and issues impacting our local communities. For the next 30 minutes, we invite you to be part of the conversation by calling 219-362-0522. And you can now text your questions to the Liquor Vault on-air line or by email to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is a topic-based program, and we ask that you keep your comments brief, concise, and related to the topic being discussed. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the hosts or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media LLC, or the sponsors. The Liquor Vault on-air line is now open for your calls or texts at 219-362-0522. This is Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Hello, friends. My name is Nate Laux. Today is Monday, January 17th, and you are listening to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle. We're glad to have you on this cold day in January. So today we're going to have a Sound Off Summit, which means the phone and text lines are open for you. You could talk about what's on your mind. Here's the thing, though. We had this a little bit when we had the last Senator Pohl Jr. on the show, and we had to kind of vamp a little bit, and we enjoyed it. But here's the thing. You have to call in, and you get to talk a little bit about what you want, but it has to be civil. It can't be hateful. It can't be too targeted, because here's the thing. We have sponsors, and our sponsors don't want to hear you be mean. But I do want to hear what you want to talk about, and if you've got an issue here in LaPorte County, we want to know about it. So possible conversations you could probably talk about is the controversial education bill that was just shelved in the state of Indiana. Maybe you want to talk about the gun permit law that the Senate and the House are debating in Indiana. That is, if you listen to the radio beforehand, Sheriff Boyd here in LaPorte County is against it, but it looks like it might pass. It would remove gun permits, the need to get gun permits here in Indiana, to carry, rather. Maybe you want to talk about former mayor of LaPorte, Blair Milo, running for Congress. Maybe how to spend the ARP money. Maybe the proposed local income tax. Whatever's on your mind, I want to hear from you. The phone number is 219-362-0522. You can call me or text me. Again, that's 219-362-0522. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I thought I'd give a brief reading here from one of my sections of Reverend Martin's writings. From Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community, from 1967. Martin Luther King Jr. says, I know that love is ultimately the only answer to mankind's problems, and I'm going to talk about it everywhere I go. I know it isn't popular to talk about it in some circles today. I'm not talking about emotional bosh when I talk about love. I'm talking about a strong, demanding love. And I've seen so much hate. I've seen so much hate on the faces of sheriffs in the South. I've seen hate on the faces of too many Klansmen and too many white citizen counselors in the South to want to hate myself. Because every time I see it, I know that it does something to their faces and their personalities. And I say to myself that hate is too great of a burden to bear. I've decided to love. If you are seeking the highest good, I think you can find it through love. And the beautiful thing is that we are moving against wrong when we do it, because John was right. God is love. He who hates does not know God, but he who has love has the key that unlocks the door to the meaning of ultimate reality. And so I say to you today, my friends, that you may be able to speak with the tongues of men and angels. You may have the eloquence of articulate speech, but if you have not love, it means nothing. Yes, you may have the gift of prophecy. You may have the gift of scientific prediction and understand the behavior of molecules. You may break into the storehouse of nature and bring forth many new insights. Yes, you may ascend to the heights of academic achievement so that you have all knowledge. And you may boast of your great intuitions of learning and boundless extent of your degrees. But if you have not love, all of these mean absolutely nothing. You may even give your goods to feed the poor. You may bestow great gifts of charity, and you may tower high in philanthropy. But if you have not love, your charity means nothing. You may even give your body to be burned and die to the death of a martyr, and your spilt blood may be a symbol of honor for generations yet unborn. And thousands may praise you as one of history's greatest heroes, but if you have not love, your blood was spilt in vain. What I'm trying to get you to see this morning is that a man may be self-centered in his self-denial and self-righteous in his self-sacrifice. His generosity may feed his ego, and his piety may feed his pride. So without love, benevolence becomes egotism, and martyrdom becomes spiritual pride. And that, my friend, is Martin Luther King Jr. from Where Do We Go From Here? KSR Community, 1967. So we're having an open conversation, what I like to call a sound-off summit today. You get to talk about what you want. Possible conversations if you want. The controversial education bill was shelved. This bill was going to do lots of different things. It was going to make our educators put their lesson plans online before the week so that parents can, I guess, dissect them. I don't know. And then we could talk about the gun permit law if you'd like. What you think about that? Do you think we should get rid of the license to carry, the permitting to carry? Obviously, there's still other permitting things and everything, but this is one part of the bill. Stan Maddox had a story on the radio right before here, and I know Sheriff Boyd on this show before has said that he's against it, and most sheriff's organizations are against this bill, but it seems to still have a lot of traction at the state level. Maybe you want to talk about former Mayor Blair Milo running for Congress in the 1st District, which is, again, kind of interesting because just this year, LaPorte got divided into 2 districts. We've talked about this on the show. Maybe you'd like to talk about that. Maybe you want to talk about how to spend the ARP money, the money that the cities and the schools are getting from the federal government. Obviously, your tax money is just coming back to you and your community. Maybe the proposed local income tax, or what they're calling the LIT tax, which is a public safety tax, which will go towards helping those who are serving in public safety positions to help fund those better. Maybe you have that. Well, I'd love to talk to you today. The number is 219-362-0522. You can call me or you can text me. I'd love to hear from you. All right, let's get to our first caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling the show. What's your comment on the Sound Off Summit today?
Hi, Joe. This is Jacqueline Schumann. I just want to say the way you started the program off with Martin Luther King's saying and all. Mm-hmm. Jesus said, "How do men know that you are my disciples? If you have love one for another." Yep, absolutely. We are to be about the Father's business. We are to take what God has given us and use it to the best of our ability and be good stewards over what God has given us. It's God that supplies our needs, whether it be through government or through any man or any service. God is our provider, and we are to seek him first. He said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God." Seek ye first. So that's where we have to start, is with God and the Word. And then move as the Holy Spirit guides us. We have to be obedient. Without obedience, God's hands are tied. We have to be obedient to his Word and then follow his Word to the best of our ability. And then when we seek him first, he will bring it all together. But love, we work with our brothers and sisters in love. We may not agree, but we agree to disagree for peace sake and work in love and honor. And all comes from God our Father above. God bless you. I appreciate you and the way you started the show off. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, you have a great day. Thanks so much for calling. We've got a Sound Off Summit episode today. Whatever's on your mind, I'd love to hear from you. We're just having some open conversations about what's going on in the community. If you've got something laying on your heart, maybe you'd like to talk about the North-South corridor and what you think about it. Mayor Dermody, was on the show on Friday talking about where they're at on that. And I know that the LaPorte County Commissioners are still debating it, where they fall on that. There's been no firm opinion on that yet. From what I understand, there's been no firm yes or no firm no. It's still being debated. Obviously, There's some things happening in the federal government with infrastructure dollars that I'm sure the county would like for a couple different projects, including the North-South Corridor, but also the Michigan City Drawbridge, which is potentially going to get replaced because, again, they're putting more than $1 million, from what I read on it, more than $1 million into that bridge each year just to keep it going. And there's lots of things, and we've talked about this on the show before, there's lots of reasons why you can't just take that bridge down, including the Coast Guard being involved there and different things. So replacing it or rebuilding it is one of the best options. And I think the county's going to at least try to approach the federal government and see if they can get some infrastructure bill or infrastructure money to do that. What do you think about that? I'd love to talk to you. We've got a show today called the Sound Off Summit, open conversation. I'd love to hear from you. The Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. You're welcome to call me. You're welcome to text me. Comment on Facebook if you'd like. I'd love to hear from you today. We're going to take our first break. It's 12:30. We'll be right back here on 96.7 The Eagle.
Car problems often strike at the absolute worst times, but you can rest well knowing that Cannon's Automotive Service is here for you and dedicated to get you back on the road with prompt, efficient, same-day service. The same Cannon's commitment that LaPorte has trusted for over 50 years. Cannon's Automotive Service, now with 2 locations, 710 Tyler Street and 909 Boyd Boulevard.
With Cannon's Automotive, we fix everything.
For the best selection and the lowest prices on your beer, wine, and spirits, look no further than Verk's Discount Liquors. Not sure what to bring to the party? Stop by the newly opened Verk's Discount Liquors at the corner of Highway 421 and 400 North in Michigan City. Be sure to check out the discounts when you purchase by the case. They also have several other stores throughout LaPorte and Michigan City for your convenience. Time to get the party started? Check out Verk's Discount Liquors.
Harmony Pools wants to help you create a beach party right in your own backyard. Whether you're looking for a new in-ground pool or in-ground hot tub, they are sure to help you make your backyard dreams come true. Need to schedule your pool closings? Need a liner replaced? Or maybe you're looking for weekly or bi-weekly cleaning contracts? Call for your quote today, and don't forget to ask about the many services they offer. 733-0552. Let Harmony Pools turn your backyard into your dream yard. That's 733-0552.
So who's hungry? Good, because I've got a deal for you. Hey, it's Dennis Siddell. Make sure you listen for Denny's Diner weekdays at 6:55 right here on the Morning Mayhem. Both Joe and I will be cooking up some country trivia questions, and if you have the correct answer, you'll be the winner of a $20 gift card from either JJ's Side Out Bar and Grill, Wanna Pizza, The Burger Bar and Grill, Nowhere Bar and Grill, and T-Berry's Diner. Make sure to join us for Denny's Diner at 6:55 a.m. during the Morning Mayhem for your chance to win on 96.7 The Eagle.
Thank you for tuning in to Sound Off. You can now text or email your questions directly to the studio. Call or text 362-0522 or email your questions to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is Sound Off.
Hello, everyone. Today we're having a Sound Off Summit, which means the phone and text lines are open for you. You can talk about what's on your mind as long as it's civilly and on point. You can have the conversation. Again, we don't want you to throw any bombs at anybody because then people get mad at me, and I don't like it when people are mad at me. So we can have possible conversations. You could talk about, let's say, the controversial education bill that was shelved here in the state of Indiana. I know a lot of people on my Facebook were upset about that. Maybe the gun permit law that's going on and being discussed. Maybe you'll talk about former Mayor Blair Milo, who's running for Congress in the 1st District. Maybe how to spend the ARP money or the proposed local income tax. You know, in the next couple months, we're going to have a lot of guests on these shows. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to have a discussion here, kind of on some things that you want. I don't know how many discussion episodes we're going to have without a guest because we've got the primary coming up. So lots of people are going to want to be on the show. And so I thought, let's just have a Sound Off Summit and see what you think. So let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling. Thanks for being on the show. What's your thoughts today?
Yes, I'd like to take and give a positive comment to you about your project you have there on Brighton Street with the old Lennox building.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's coming out well, huh?
I travel by there a lot. I live on First Street, and I was amazed in the last 2 years what you've done with that.
Yeah, it was definitely a labor of love. I tell you that. It's been a labor, but those projects in areas where nobody wants to kind of do any renovation, it really comes out well. Though I was really happy to see it.
Well, my question is as far as the future plan, what are you going to do with as far as the building itself?
Oh, good question. So the building there. So if you've not been there, so the caller's talking about our project with the Pack Center, which is the Brighton Street Green Space, and it's the former Lennox Dairy property. And so what we did is, so much of that factory was falling apart, and so what we were able to do is save the storefront to that, and we renovated it, and it became what we call an education resource center. So it's really beautiful. You can find the Brighton Street Green Space on Facebook and look at some pictures of it. And we do different projects in there. We have a summer kids garden that meets in there. It's a really beautiful renovated space. That has a ADA accessible bathroom, has a kitchenette. It holds probably about 55, 60 people, and very soon we'll allow the community to use it. One of the things in that area is it is a food desert, which means those who live in that area have a lack of access to affordable foods. And so we've got our gardens there and everything. We wanted to make sure that people also have, health care that's available there. So, we'll bring in different healthcare things in that education resource center as well, so that we can do different projects, so we can get access to those who need it. And so, thanks so much for calling and talking about that. I love our Brighton Street Green Space, and shout out to two of our main volunteers, Neil Laux and Ben Mannix, for putting in so much time on that. Let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling the show today on our Sound Off Summit. What's on your mind?
Well, how you doing today, Pastor?
Better. I'm doing better than I deserve. I'm doing pretty well, actually. I was having a hard time getting out of bed this morning because I saw how cold it is, but I'm doing good now that I'm up. How are you?
Oh, good. I was more concerned with the icing issue.
Yeah, it's getting slippery. I know it is.
Yeah. So I had to watch that when I had to go out this morning. What I called in about, I had talked with Sheriff Boyd from time to time on this format about the permitting process, and I stand with law enforcement on this issue. I don't think that doing away with the permitting process is a good thing. I have a long history in law enforcement myself, and anything that puts our police in further harm's way can't be a good thing. Now, under the way it's been lately, there was no charge to obtain a permit. So why do we have to do away with the permitting process? It just leads me to wonder if the gun lobby doesn't have such deep pockets that perhaps that's the motivation for some of these people to push this legislation. I don't know. But it has crossed my mind. I'm not saying that as a fact, but it kind of makes me wonder. I mean, it will flood more guns into the community. There's no question about it. I mean, anyone can just buy a gun, put it in their pocket, and carry it. I don't think that's a good thing. And after hearing Sheriff Boyd's comments on that, I called the Indiana Senate and voiced my opposition. Oh, is that Dennis playing with that gong again?
Dennis. Yeah, he times everyone, so that. But yeah, I
always in the mischief.
He is. Yeah, no, it is interesting because it is a bill that a lot of people don't realize that it is kind of the legislators against law enforcement on this, and so we'll see who wins. And where it goes, and a lot of I think law enforcement are just asking legislators, how does this make communities more safe and things like this, and because in their estimation it certainly doesn't. And so I don't know, I'm not an expert on any of that, so we'll just be following it here. We've got a Sound Off Summit today, an open conversation. You get to talk about what you want as long as it's civil and on point. The phone line here is 219-362-0522. That's the Liquor Vault on-air line. You can call or text. Let me get caught up on some text real quick, Denny. Here's one. Will you please announce that the COVID clinic at the Old LaPorte Hospital is open today until 6? We take walk-ins until 5:15. So if you want to get your shot or your booster, you can go in until 6, walk-ins until 5:15. Here's another one on the education topic. If parents are concerned about what their kids are being taught in school, maybe they need to either start homeschooling them or even better start communicating with their kids, actually talk about controversial topics. I think conversation and communication is sadly being lost between parents and kids. This may bring to light there is usually more than one way to look or think about something. Thank you so much for texting there. One more. LaPorte needs to legalize medical marijuana. LaPorte would make out good on the taxes. California has it legal for medical and recreational. I'm not saying LaPorte legalize recreation, but medical helps people. Obviously that's a statewide decision that LaPorte can't make that decision. But we've had that conversation here on the show before, and there's some data that suggests 60% of the business going to dispensaries in Michigan on the border come from Hoosiers. That is a lot of tax dollars, though other people rightly point out that tax dollars aren't everything. So let's get to another caller. Thanks so much for listening to the show. Thanks for calling in today on the Sound Off Summit. What's your comment? Hello, you're on the show. Hello. All right, get to another caller here. Hey, thanks so much for calling the show today. You're on the Sound Off Summit. What's your comment?
Hi, Nate.
Hi, bud.
I was listening to the last caller, and evidently he doesn't know the licensing process. There is a fee to the county and to the state for the either 5-year permit or the lifetime permit right now.
I thought last year they got rid of that. They didn't get rid of that last year. I thought in 2021 they got rid of it.
I don't think so. I'm not positive, but from my past experience, I've paid the fees.
Yeah, I thought the legislator last time he was in said they did get rid of that, but I totally could be wrong. So I'll find out though for sure.
I could be wrong on top of it, but from my experience, I've paid fees, and it takes so long for the county to submit your stuff to the state. It's basically you're at the will of the county.
Yeah.
Now, as far as it bringing more guns, I don't think so. What they need to do is prosecute the people that get caught that aren't supposed to have them, and not let them out. I mean, Kim Fox in Chicago is a prime example of not prosecuting people when they get caught doing so.
So is your feeling that they're not prosecuting people here in LaPorte County?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'll have to ask that to Sheriff Boyd next time he's on the show to see kind of what they're doing and how they're handling those that are caught with guns, that don't have permits and things like that, because that's a good question.
When you look at it, most of the people that are caught with a gun have passed arrests or convictions that they shouldn't be. They should be in jail somewhere. Because it's a felony.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a simple misdemeanor when you're not. It's a felony conviction when you're not supposed to own a handgun.
All right. Well, thanks so much for calling. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much. All right. Have a good day. We've got a Sound Off Summit, which means it's an open show. As long as you're civil and you're on point, you're welcome to call in. The Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. I did get a text here that says there's a bad wreck on 104 east of Stillwell. Roads are very slick. Be very, very careful when you're driving, people. It is slick out there. Slipper than you think. All right, let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling today's episode of Sound Off Summit. What's your thoughts here?
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, it's freezing, but that's beside the point. It's weather here,
Yep.
Okay, on the Franklin Street Bridge.
Yep.
Okay, the government's going to put so much money up, right?
Yes.
For the bridge?
Yep.
And does the Michigan City taxpayers have to match that?
No. So I tell you what, I did not know about this, how the bridge was handled until I started this show, but it's very interesting. So essentially the county is in charge of paying for the bridge. Michigan City residents are not, other than the county taxes that a Michigan City resident would pay. But a Michigan City bridge is actually, because of the state mandate. The state mandates that counties take care of bridges in their county. But here's where it really gets interesting. Is not only does the state have a say in it, not only does the county have a say in it, Michigan City certainly has desires out of it, but the U.S. military and the Coast Guard gets a say in how it goes as well. So there's a lot of stakeholders, but it's the county that actually has to pay for it.
Yeah, because I know, I've been down the river and that there, and there's a lot of expensive Chicago boats.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they start charging the boats that, they got to lift the bridge up to them? Why don't they, put a number on the side and they got to pay every time they go through?
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing. And I would assume they could do some kind of permitting thing there. And I'm not sure why I'll have to ask one of the county commissioners or one of the county council next time they're on the show to see why they don't do that, because that would make sense to me as well.
Right, because, why should the county pay for it when the county's not using the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they use it to cross over, yes, but to lift it up and maintain it, and it costs $1 million a year or something like that. Why don't they, charge the voters that, they got to lift the bridge up, and charge them to,
sure,
pay part of it?
Yep, it's a good question. I'm going to write it down, and next time I have a county official here, I'll ask him. All right, thanks so much for calling. All right, let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling the show. You're on today's Sound Off Summit. What's your thaux?
Hey, Mr. Nate Laux, how are you today?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. Listen, I'm calling about the gun permit deal.
Yep.
I just got my gun permit. It costs you less than $15 right now to get your lifetime gun permit. All you're paying for is your fingerprints. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There's no actual permitting cost. It's just to get the fingerprints, right?
That's right. All you're paying for is the fingerprints. That's it. And we're talking within the last 60 days, I got my gun permit, lifetime gun permit.
Yeah.
And all it
if you don't mind me, how long did it take you to get it? Like, what was the process like? Okay.
A month. It was a month. It
Okay.
was exactly a month. And there are a couple other people that I work with that have went and got theirs and have managed to get it in under a month. And another fella, he waited, I think, 2, almost 3 months, but ended up being a discrepancy in with the paperwork he filled out.
Okay.
And they had to straighten that out before he could get it. But it was right around a month before I got my permit.
Okay. Which do you see that as too much, or do you think that was okay?
No, I know people that have paid $180 for that lifetime permit, as well as others have paid $400 for that lifetime permit.
Yeah.
And for me to get mine the way I did, I feel bad for those that have had to pay that amount to get it. They should be refunded that money that they paid to get that permit. But due to certain legislature decisions, it benefited me.
Yep. Yeah, it did. Yeah. All right.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
And I feel everybody, to own a gun, you should have to have a permit, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think again, that's what a lot of the law enforcement are certainly pro Second Amendment, but they just think it's an important kind of avenue to go through. We're going to take another break, our final break of the day. If you've got a question or if you've got a comment here on the Sound Off Summit, we'd love to hear from you. The Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on 96.7 The Eagle.
Ben Conowitz here, LaPorte Seamless Gutter, 219-362-9972. Fall is here, and that means leaves and debris for your gutter system. We've got 3 separate types of gutter guard for your home. Leaves and debris come in all shapes and sizes. We don't need a one-size-fits-all for your gutter. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 219-362-9972, or you can visit us on the web, www.lpseamless.com.
Buying a new vehicle is a big decision. I don't want to feel forgotten the minute I leave the dealership. But at Michigan City Hyundai, they put people first, making my entire buying experience better. I browsed online and went in store to look at the new 2022 Tucson. Finally, I purchased with everything I needed and left confidently.
Get even more coverage with Hyundai Assurance and America's best 10-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Visit MichiganCityHyundai.com.
You're going to like buying a car this way.
Ready for a new cut or color? Fast Eddie's of LaPorte is ready to give you that cut or color you have been wanting. Call 324-0330 today or stop in at 1700 Lincoln Way, Suite 1, and ask one of the girls to book your appointment. Fast Eddie's of LaPorte is open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m. Not sure what to get that loved one for their birthday or special occasion? Why not pick up a gift certificate? Fast Eddie's of LaPorte, locally owned and operated for over 30 years.
96.7 The Eagle. Hey, it's Dennis Siddell here, reminding you to join me and the rest of the crew for the Morning Mayhem Tuesday edition. Tomorrow morning, what do we got coming up on the show? Mayor Tom Dermody and Stump the Mayor. Also, Denny's Diner. Stan Maddox with your news, Wayne Mahar with your forecast, and of course, plenty of country music. It's on the Morning Mayhem, beginning at 6 a.m. right here on your home for country music variety, 96.7 The Eagle.
Your forecast on 96.7 The Eagle brought to you by Harmon Expert Auto Service. If you're looking for a local and quality auto repair company, then look no further than Harmon Expert Auto with 2 locations in LaPorte, 308 Washington or 111 Brighton Streets. Visit their website at harmonexpertautoservice.com or call 325-0444.
Michiana weather.
High of 29 this afternoon. Under cloudy skies with snow likely. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. 19 tonight, cloudy. High of 36 tomorrow. From the Weather Center at hometownnewsnow.com. Right now, 27.
We're waiting to hear from you. Dial or text 362-0522 and let us know what you think. That's 362-0522. Back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to back to our final segment of Sound Off today. We're having a Sound Off Summit, which means the phones and the text lines are open for you. You can talk about what's on your mind as long as you're civil and on point. I will say producer Dennis, though, does have his gong out. So after 2 minutes, you will get gonged so we can get to as many callers and texters as possible. Yep. See, I just got gonged. All right. The Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. Let's get to a caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling. What's on your mind today?
I think drinking beer and wine and that, they passed new laws and that you got more or less drive and drink at the same time. I talked to the sheriff. I said, ain't that against the law? He says, no, they passed new laws. He seemed to be happy about it. The drunk will never inherit the kingdom of heaven. So this drinking's got to stop. Well, you got people 2, 3, 4 times over the legal limit. What's coming off? Can't they stop? Why don't they go back to the same laws?
I don't know. I'll have to ask about that. I'll write that down. Thanks so much for calling. I will ask the sheriff if any laws for drinking and driving have changed. I'm not familiar with any, but that doesn't mean that they didn't. If you've got a comment today, the Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. Got about 8 minutes left on the show. Plenty of time if you'd like to talk about something, maybe the controversial education bill or gun permit law or former Mayor Blair Milo running for Congress, or how to spend the art money, or the proposed local income tax, whatever's on your mind. Let's get through some texts here. The taxpayers of LaPorte County do not want to pay $80 million for a drawbridge so sailboats can pass through it. Let's replace it with a regular bridge and let those who have boats that are too tall to pass under it find mooring somewhere else. Here's the challenge there. I have asked that before, and in order to get a bridge that goes tall enough, you really have to have a lot more space than it does right now. The bridge has to start way further back, these kind of things. To do just a regular bridge isn't going to work for the Coast Guard. They want to make sure they can get through that bridge. And so the Coast Guard requires that they get through that bridge. So you can have a taller bridge that a boat could potentially get through there. But again, in order to do that, it's going to be hard because you're going to have to make the bridge so long and so far, and so there's kind of where the struggle is on some of that. You've got the Coast Guard saying no, you don't get to do that. Here's the funny thing: the Coast Guard doesn't pay for the bridge, we do. Anyway, I enjoyed the first caller, sermonette, with her scriptures reminding us to love one another. Great start to the program. Thanks so much. Yes, I did as well. Hello, Nate. You're doing a great job. My son works for the LaPorte County Highway Department. Commissioner Matisse said the county highway is non-essential. How can she say that? These men and women are out every day. They are called out at all hours of the day or night. They are worked like mules some days. If my son could get all the highway workers to call off when we get the next storm and nobody could get to work, 911, dispatchers, EMS, police, then they will be essential workers. I'm not bashing Commissioner Matias, just wondering. I will ask her next time she's on the show what her thoughts on there. I agree. I think county highway department workers are essential, especially in the wintertime. All right, here's another one. If you've got a call or a question, the Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. I'd love to hear from you today. Today's a Sound Off Summit show, so as long as you're civil and on point, we'd love to hear from you. Again, 219-362-0522. Getting caught up on some texts right now regarding the north-south corridor. I have serious concerns when Mayor Dermody repeatedly says it's a county project. Yet when a group opposed to this gains 2,000 signatures on a petition, Mayor Dermody has twice commented, "We have the list and we are checking the names." If this is a county project, why is he taking a deep dive into those that have signed the petition? In my opinion, this smacks of political bullying and intimidation in the face of those opposing the project. My theory there, if I can speak for Mayor Dermody, is those that are opposed to it says there's 2,000 signatures opposed to it, and my guess is Mayor Dermody doesn't believe there's actually 2,000 people opposed to it, and so that some of these signatures are not LaPorte County citizens, and so that's my theory. I don't know that, but I can ask him. Here we go. Why when the government needs money for something, they tax us? Does LaPorte have a wheel tax now? Yes, I think that we do. Do we have a lit tax? Nobody pays my bills. Taxes implemented never go away. Now, that is pretty true. Taxes often don't go away. But the state has taken taxes away. But the state, what they like to do is take the taxes away and then make your local government raise taxes. And so what it is we'll take the funding away from your local government and make them actually raise the taxes instead of the state doing it. All right, we're having a Sound Off Summit episode today. I'd love to hear from you. 219-362-0522. About 4 or 5 minutes left on the show. Let's get to a caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling today on the Sound Off Summit. What's your thoughts?
Hey, good afternoon, Nate.
Hey, buddy boy.
Hey, I decided that since Martin Luther King is a man all about peace, and we all should be, I'm not going to bring up anything political today.
Look at you.
Now you got to do this. You got to do the show again, though. Okay.
I will. I promise.
So I can make up for it.
As long as as long as everyone's civil and on point, we're fine. Yep.
On a lighter note, I'll bring up something positive. The other day over here in Michigan City, I was out plowing snow on a bright early morning, and I was over by where Patriot Park is.
Yeah. Yep.
Right there on 950 West, I saw a bald eagle up in a tree, and then he moved to a telephone pole. So we had a bald eagle right here in our backyard in LaPorte County.
That's really cool. I've seen some pictures online on, I think he posts them, maybe Don Eastep, I think is his name. He posts them to, there's a group on Facebook called LaPorte Current News and Reviews or something. And I've seen some he posts there of some eagles and stuff like that. I love seeing that there's eagles in the community and, different kind of birds like that. It's really wonderful to see. I've not seen a bald eagle, but they're really cool. So
I seen them, on vacation, by the rivers and places, but not right here in LaPorte County in Cool Spring Township. So
very cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up something. What's that?
Yeah, if you're in that community, everyone take a look. Maybe you guys can see it as well. So.
Yep, there he it looked like a younger one, but you could definitely, he's got the white head and everything. So.
All right. Well, thanks so much for calling, buddy.
Very cool. All right. You have a great day.
Take care, bud. All right. A couple more texts coming through for our Sound Off Summit. This will be our last text of the day. I don't see why a local income tax is needed when in the last 3 years my property taxes on my house have almost tripled. The local income tax, from what they're saying, again, I'm only parroting what the mayor and other people said, is specifically for catching up our law enforcement and our fire department and EMS on rates, pay rates that are similar to other counties. That's why they want the local income tax. Mr. Laux, do you plan for any other community gardens elsewhere in LaPorte? Now, we do have another one on the Jackson Street Community Garden, which is on the corner of Jackson and Jefferson. We have two big community gardens there, on Jefferson and then also on Brighton Street. Right now, those are our two only projects, but who knows? We get bored after a while. So, all right, yes, final comment here. Gun permits, yes, should remain, because I had no problem getting mine. All right, well, thank you so much for listening to the show today. Thanks for participating on our Sound Off Summit. I hope you enjoyed it. I love giving you time just to kind of get issues on your mind off to the public, and it's always good for our politicians and our elected officials to hear some of these things of where you're at. On Friday, we'll be back on the show. State Senator Mike Bahachik's on the show. On Monday, then, I think, on that following Friday is Lisa Pierzakowski. Hey, I want to thank you so much for listening. Be careful out there. The roads are slick. Take extra time to get to where you're going. Hey, be good to yourself, be good to others, and keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle.
Thank you for joining us and voicing your opinion on this edition of Sound Off. The views on Sound Off are those of the host or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media LLC, or the sponsors. Sound Off airs every Monday and Friday at 12:30. Please mark your calendar and join us again for the next edition of Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle. Your home for country music variety is 96.7 The Eagle, WCOE FM LaPorte.
Michiana weather.
High of 29 this afternoon under cloudy skies with snow likely. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. 19 tonight, cloudy. High of 36 tomorrow. From the Weather Center at hometownnewsnow.com.